The Incredibles, first making its debut in 2004, one of, if not the most famous Pixar movie of all time. It's also a movie that is ripe for sequels, and when it got one in 2018, it was just kind of It wasn't bad, it wasn't great. Some people wouldn't even call it good. I think it's somewhere in between, it's just kind of fine. And when you wait a good 13 years for a sequel, you should have some high expectations there, and Pixar should have met them. I do think Pixar did fail in that department of living up to the expectations set by them. I mean, I thought the Lego game was fine. I think some of the new characters introduced are pretty cool. I like the designs a lot. And yada yada is something twist villain that everyone saw coming. No. However, when I was watching D23 live in 2024, I couldn't help but be optimistic. Now, is The Incredibles 3 actually going to live up to my expectations? Maybe. But the general public, I'm not sure, and I'm kind of getting worried about it now. I still hold my optimism, but less so now thinking about it. But what would I do differently? Or I guess not do differently because the movie's not out yet, but you know what I mean. The Incredibles 3 is happening, and here's what I would do in the movie. Here are 10 things I want in The Incredibles 3. My name is Kiefer, and welcome to my media center. Let's get into it. Number 10, probably the most requested thing for The Incredibles 2 and The Incredibles 3 is a time skip. Now, I am not talking a major 10-year time skip. I am suggesting a 4 to 5 year time skip. It's a big enough skip to have Dash starting high school, Violet starting college, having the older superheroes being aged even more, such as Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Frozone. And I will go more into that in a later entry, but that's my number 10. And in at number 9 is have Violet be the Spider-Man of the movie. Now, what do I mean by Spider-Man? It's something that other heroes have done in different types of media, but I'm calling it Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's my favorite. With my pitch for a time skip, I think this will give the movie a chance to make Violet the main star of the franchise. This movie, I feel, needs to truly focus on the kids, and mainly Violet. Violet truly mastering her abilities and balancing her college life and superhero life in a very comic book Spider-Man way. Possible relationship, her friendships, her family life, her schooling, and superhero persona all being strained while her mental health is drastically falling down. Another thing this movie needs is to give the kids damn hero name. 2 movies in and no superhero names for 2 of your main characters is preposterous. It is wild, I do not understand it, and I want this movie to fix it. In at number 8, have more at stake. I know it can be a cliche for superhero movies to all have planet blowing up level stakes, but after the blandness of The Incredibles 2, we need to amp it up here a lot. More than superheroes getting wiped off of the earth, more than a city at stake, I don't think this has to be planet destruction levels of stake, but make the government worried, have cities evacuated, and maybe it could be America put at stake. And tying in with this entry, number 7, a better villain. It is a tall task to top Syndrome, and a very easy one to top the Screenslaver, but it is one that is necessary. This villain has to at least be on par with Syndrome after the crap that was Screenslaver. I have a few ideas for villains that we will get onto, but this movie needs to be a true comeback for The Incredibles in the eyes of the fans and the media. I know Pixar can do it, but the question is, will they? Number 6. Show how society has adapted to superheroes. Shows like The Boys and Invincible have done incredible jobs at showing semi-realistic depictions of the world and society adapting to supers, and what would happen if they were in our world. I would love to see The Incredibles do the same thing, else put viewers into the world of a citizen in the super world, and helps immerse us into that life. I think showing even just in the background how life is there would up this movie from great to a masterpiece. We are at the halfway point, and this is my first pitch for a possible villain or villains for the movie. Number 5, another family of supers. First pitch for possible villains in this movie is a family of superhero individuals. I have a few ideas here for the family. Comment down below, let me know what your favorite one is. Number 1, a family of supers that were in hiding much like our main characters, and over the course of the movie we see that they're actually evil and have been putting up personas. It is a twist villain, however I think it's one that would be done well. Another idea is the family are robots or cyborgs made by a company that are putting on good guy personas but really are villains and working for the company, either to make them money, get them weapons of mass destruction, whatever it may be. But I think it'd be really cool to have the family go up against more robots, but this time way more advanced syndromes. My last pitch is that the family are aliens. Aliens that live on Earth and saw the Incredibles on the news and TV and want to be like them, but they go about it in the wrong way, being far too violent, and when confronted by the Incredibles, they turn to the dark side. What do you guys think? Comment below what pitch for evil family of superheroes you think are the best. Number 4, explore more side characters. Shows like Gravity Falls, Invincible, Fight Girl, Adventure Time, BoJack Horseman, and Regular Show have such incredible, memorable, and beloved side characters that the fans truly adore and that make these shows rewatchable. It's not the only reason, of course, but what would these pieces of media be without them? The Incredibles is already iconic and loved, and that makes adding new characters to the lore in movies hard. Incredibles 2 attempted and halfway succeeded. I like the designs of the new Super show, and some of them are alright, but I think we can do much better. Keep them around though, and show them in the background helping or taking down bad guys on their own. Add new ones too. It's not impossible to bring beloved side characters in on an established IP, but it is harder. Pixar, I know you can do it. Number 3. Better moments for the kids. Well, I think this movie's main character should be Violet. I don't think she should get all the attention. Violet, Dash, and Jack all need moments to shine and stand out in unique ways. Violet is a star, so of course she will get plenty of room to shine, but have this 14 to 15-year-old Dash prove he isn't a schmuck. Use his speed to have a Quicksilver-like scene saving the school, getting everyone out in time and all the class pets. Have him show that he isn't just fast but strong by using his strength to save someone under a car or rubble. Have him using his powers at school so fast no one can see him, pulling a prank on his friends or some bullies. And for Jack, I know he's only like 5 or 6 in this pitch, but he can do stuff too. Here's a little scene I wrote for him. Edna's babysitting and someone breaks in. Edna shows she's a badass too, attempting to fight off the bad guy. When she's out of the corner of her eye, Jack laser vision the lights off and turns himself into the burglar and clones himself surrounding him, and he attacks. He turns into his monster form, scaring him, and when he's stunned in fear, Jack grows twice the burglar's size and falls onto him, knocking him unconscious. That's a pretty cool little fight scene if you ask me. I'd like to see it animated. If you thought I was done writing basically Incredibles fanfiction, you are wrong. Because pitch number 2, it is my longest pitch. I call it the Cars 3 approach. New supers getting more popular than the family, and how does that affect supers like Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Frozone? I haven't spoken on the old timers yet, and that's because I was saving this pitch. Mental health has been getting a lot of attention in animated movies and shows, and I love it. I'm gonna throw my hat into the panic attack and animation circle here with this one. Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Frozone were already getting up there in superhero age in the first 2 movies, and I want this movie to be their almost retirement. Not fully retired, but when the world needs them most, they can help. But no more full-time superheroing for these 3. New supers coming in at the spotlight in the movie is a must for me. New powers, new characters showing how cool they are, how great they are at saving lives. And I think a scene where Mr. Incredible saves someone and the guy he saved from dying is upset. It's an old timer, not a cool newer superhero that saved him. That being one of the straws that breaks the camel's back. Bob gets home that night and sits alone, thinking, is he too old? Is he not good enough? More thoughts of self-doubt sprint into his mind and he feels weak. For the first time in a year, he feels weak. Like he can't get up. He tries and he falls to the floor. His breathing staggered. He curls up and tries to call for his wife, his kids, anyone. But he can't. He lays on the floor. Tears start to swell. Mr. Incredible feeling not so incredible anymore. He feels powerless. To his own mind, to the world. Eventually Helen goes to check on Bob and she finds him. She tries to help him up to his feet, but he can't move. She sits behind him, helping him get through the panic attack. I also want to see Elastigirl get outmaneuvered by another person with stretchy limbs in this movie. So she tries to stretch herself further than she ever has before during a fight to save someone, but fails. She ultimately wins the fight, but with a casualty, that breaking her. Frozone's can be off-screen or on-screen, either works for me, but I want these 3 to come together to talk about how they all feel like they should hang up the boots. But at the end, they give each other hope for their future. Right before the final fight, where they help save the day. I know that was a lot for one pitch, but I couldn't help myself. I really hope you guys like that one. But before pitch number 1, an honorable mention. New suits. With the kids taking center stage, especially Violet, new suits is a necessary choice here. I need Violet and Dash to truly find their identities in this film, honing in on their abilities, getting stronger, faster, smarter, and better in every way to accompany the superhero names and suits. This will also tie in with number 1, so let's get into it. My number 1 pitch for The Incredibles 3. have a superhero team try and succeed to recruit Dash, this being my second pitch for villains in the movie. Here is my other villains pitch and my pitch for Dash's storyline in the movie. I want this group to be semi-Teen Titans, Young Justice, Young Avengers, Next Avengers type. The oldest person and the leader should be about 18 to 19. Similar to Violet's age and be extremely powerful. I want this team to take advantage of Dash's mental health being at its lowest. Dash seeing his parents grow older, weaker, and mentally unwell. His older sister Violet becoming a star and an icon in the superhero world. Being beloved by citizens, having a big following of fans. School's kicking his ass while he tries to be a superhero at the same time, struggling to balance his two worlds. I want this team to recruit him and be a bad influence on Dash. He gets more violent the more he hangs out with them, robbing crime in a brutal fashion and having a giant chip on the young man's shoulder. Change his costume, think Black Suit Spider-Man, but for Dash. I want him to face off against his sister in a family fight that goes public. I want there to be destruction at Dash's feet. He stops coming home at night and starts living at the team's HQ. Eventually, of course, he comes around in the end and helps defeat the villain team, but I think it'll be a great way to establish Dash by himself, away from the Parr family, away from the Incredibles. When he comes back to the good side in the end, does he stay with the Incredibles or does he stay solo? Honestly, I don't know. Let me know down below what you would prefer. Now, I am dreaming big when it comes to this movie, of course, but that's the faith I have in this IP to become a true franchise. I love The Boys and Invincible, but I think The Incredibles would work fantastically as a more PG superhero franchise that can spawn TV shows, video games, books, etc. I want to see The Incredibles come back in a major way with movie number 3. Those were my 10 pitches for The Incredibles 3. Let me know down below, what do you guys think? What was your favorite pitch? What are your own pitches? Or my pitch is garbage? Before I end the video, I want to shout out my Twitch that I've been streaming far more frequently on. I stream 3 to 4 times a week, multiple different games. So check me out over there in the description. Also in the description are my socials. Follow me on everything and buy the merch. I've been Kiefer. I hope to see you on the next video. But most importantly, stay hydrated.